Mm, yeah. Okay. On. Okay. You put the yeah. This is on it. Yeah. Yeah. So this is green light is on.
It's get over to my story of my son um, was really in a very bad place and hard, very hard. to try to help him and help people that have thoughts were demonic problem. And we found out at some point later, it wasn't apparent in the beginning, but at some point later we found out that he had actually been on a website and made a pledge. And I just found out about 3 months ago what website it is. It wasn't in the book. Made this alliance with that church by writing pledge. He started to really go, I guess you would say down the rabbit hole. So in 2024, every 11 minutes, a teenager commits suicide. Mental health challenges are on the rise, and we heard this past Christmas 2025 what happened when a person that I'm sure was under demonic attack killed his parents. I'm talking about the movie producer, Rob Reiner and his wife. And that was just horrible, a horrible thing that happened to this family. People ask me, why did you call the book The Devil in the Big Lie? Well, that's what devils usually throw around a bit. When you got The Devil Wears Prada and then the other books and other things that refer to that. But mine is not just my book is in real life that when people do something that is dark and that is overshadowing and makes this kind of a commitment, it really affects their life. Because whatever you do, and if when a person you can try to the neighbor, and when you get your wife down, when you saw his eyes, they look so cold. So that's what happened to my son. His eyes look cold, dark, and when he came into my bedroom, like it was red, I was scared because I could see his eyes, and those eyes were evil, dark eyes. And he has the most beautiful blue eyes in generally. And now his eyes are back with the sparkle and all that stuff because it happened a while ago. But, evil is more coming into the forefront. And, we have to be aware. So my book, it talks all about the journey that we followed, how we had to travel the United States, we had to travel all over just to get help. And today, I want to say that we have recovered because we lost a lot of years from this happening to them. I would say that he still has some catching up to do. Particularly if he was Pentecost very nervous to talk to the women. He never had a girlfriend, so it was something he was very nervous about. But now he's always chatting about people that he meets on the street and talking about, girls and things like that. So, he's come back to himself, and that is really a blessing. So, that's all of mine. I want to ask one thing.
What do you feel right now?
He is in 30. Any other questions?
If you could articulate
Well, I know what the deal was, and I realized just recently because we had a little chat just recently. This is really well on the past things, that we did sexually from it, but we did talk about sometimes these things really affect us when we're young. If something occurs in our life, it can affect our desires. For him, he always had a fascination with belonging to it. And I just found out recently it was because he had some kind of a encounter when he was very young with a blonde woman. I don't think it was a really deep encounter, but it affected him, and he feel like if he wanted to get married and married to a blonde woman. That's what it was. And it's not so much what it was, it's really this. You make that kind of a commitment.
Being the mother of a son who, let's say, was entangled with occult sort of Satanism in a way, as a Christian mother, what advice would you give to parents who have children who kind of isolate themselves and spend more time isolated with the TV or with the computer? How would you advise a parent to pay more attention to the children that they will not get entangled with such satanic rituals? We have seen, you mentioned that persons kill their parents. I read something somewhere where a young guy actually killed his mother and father after watching a video on how to kill your parents. And he did that. So they are entangled, they got involved in those stuff, and the mind are stolen. So how and what advice would you give to parents who are looking at the children, seeing them isolated, become silent, recluse, and not participating in actual household activities? What are some of the clues you ask the parent to look for?
Get that conversation of children. And it was working in Oakville. So my trip was to the station, home, dinner. Really hard for my son. That's why I thought, well, wasn't it a child? And in a way, he did fall against the cracks because his younger brother was very prominent and popular with girls. And he actually the leftover son, my over friends because we're only 16 months apart, so they shared some of the same friends. So my advice would be you keep on because that's what I did. Because I outlined in his face, announced that posters just Simpson were talking to him, actually talking to him. I would definitely talk to someone that knows about this pastor. And not pastors know about this. No. That the church I was going to and attending didn't be a problem for any of this. It's to make pastor came into our lives. I just don't know what would have happened right now. We really knew how to face the situation when I did. And I just say as well in church community that churches really do not speak about people as much as they do about Jesus. We all want to know what Jesus. Yes. Hearts able to stand up against
Revise of the. Yeah.
And
The next question: as an author writer, what are my difficulties, especially writing this book, that you have gone through? Because having to write a story about what your son been through as an author mother, what are my difficulties that you had to go through to actually pen this book?
there's no more before I
Mm.
money down. And the more difficult chapter, we're able to pick up again the book. Just so you know,
Mhm.
the way phones, record in our phones, record it down my phone. Then I would email it to Josie. And then Josie and I would go over the chapter to make sure that and do some edits based on where I'm going. And I would always ask things like, but it's not about
Uh,
really, I really have to say question Josie and mention me on this. I don't know if I would have really caught things. Usually these things.
now that the book has been out now, your son has he taken any thought to reading the story, your story about him and the journey, and when did he overcome his so-called satanic involvement? Okay, right. Okay.
Yeah. Uh, this next is not beautiful. I'm really your food friend. So yeah. Yeah. It's you know, you know,
Mm.
I think just to keep me up in the ice. I was kind of like 5, 6 years. You know, it's really nice. Province. They wanted to stay us sleep, and that was his thing. So things unfolded. This new hairdressing salon opened in our neighborhood. And that's when I met Cynthia. She was a hairdresser. That high school um, that my son went to. And she Oh, I don't look on the real. No, I should I use it? I'm okay. So I just say that there are positive forces, there are dark forces, there are evil forces, and to be always careful by looking at the person's eyes. When you look at some eyes and they look like two stones, you know that this person is into dark things. So this is just a warning that I would just put out there in general. And if there's not any more questions, I'm going to do a book signing if anyone wants to purchase the book. And I know if some people here have the book already, but I just thank you guys for coming anyway. And also, we have a 50-50 draw, not a 50-50 draw, a door prize draw that we're doing. And we have two prizes over there. One's from Nature's Signature, that's full of all kinds of healthy stuff. And Nature's Signature is located up the street, almost at Runnymede, within the Metro grocery store. So I always like that store because if I go to Healthy Planet, I have to wait so long just to get some information. Where this other store, they seem more free and I can get in and out quicker. And I also have some beautiful pastries that are from Monte Bakery, and we're going to be doing a draw for both of those. So I don't want to thank you so much for your attention. I know it's pretty hot, pretty sticky here, and I really feel it myself, but I'm glad it's kind of cooled down. When I first got here, it was almost excruciating. It was really bad. So, uh, Angela, I think you have a, thank you. You have a book for me to sign, right? Thank you. Oh, the books are $20, just so anybody knows. Is this for you? Just for you, okay. Because I know your seat's very hard, so I didn't know. Any questions? Further questions? Because this is a bit of a involved topic that you don't hear a lot about, everywhere. But I'm sure when we've been in the presence of somebody that is in a dark countenance, we can feel it, right? So if there's any questions, 17. Possibly. I was trying to piece things together a little bit at a time when it happened. And if you read my book, you'll find out I was dealing with a lot of things, raising these children and work schedule and a lot of preparation of a house to take care of and all that kind of stuff. Right. So, I did the very best I could at that time. Uh, but you know, sometimes knowledge, we lack knowledge, and I didn't have knowledge really about this subject um, at all until I met this lady that invited me to her event,
Yeah, yeah.
and that's when I actually began to learn all about this. And now I have a lot more knowledge on the subject, but hopefully I will not have to really use that knowledge at this point for another situation. Yeah, so, oh, okay. Oh, is this for you? Okay. I need to get this correct spelling of your name. Go ahead. TH? TH? Okay. Pretty name. Did you send me a transfer? Oh, yeah. Hand up? This heat is really kind of did me in.
Okay.
Thank you. Did you get a picture for me too?
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
Mr. Mark?
Um,
Oh, that was getting close.
what I wanted to do is just like hold the book up like that.
Yeah. Should we,
Right?
are you gonna squat? Or should I-
Wait. Okay. Big picture. Yeah. Okay. Okay, now we'll stand up. Okay, because I was squat. Okay.
Should we stand up
Yeah.
with the book or without?
So, double wear Prada. Okay. Okay. Well,
Thank you.
there you go. Oh, thanks. Okay, one more question again from me.
Okay.
In terms of persons wanting their copy of the book, it's available on Amazon and we so is there a number of people contact you want with they want to be directly from you or how you
The best way is on Amazon. Just put in the title of the book, The Devil in His Big Blue Eyes, and it'll come up. And and you can get it there. Um, you know, and anyone that's interested in um, having me as a guest at their event, perhaps at their church or wherever their event is, I'm available to do that. I know next month I have two engagements about the book, so I'm happy to, just get this kind of message out there because when I wrote the book, I was actually shy to mention to anybody, friend or person I talked to, anything about this because it didn't seem that people were going through that at the time. Now, at this day and age, I hear all the time these problems. I remember I mentioned to my art teacher because I do art as well. And I just mentioned, she said, well, what's your book about? And I told her, and she said, oh, my son has gone through the same thing. And more that I talk to people, the more I find that, people are facing these challenges at this time. And Angela, I want to ask you a question. As a school teacher, are you finding that, kids are having these kind of, you could might say, strange concerns? I know you're teaching younger classes, but you've taught a little older too, right?
Yes, in terms of sometimes you like you come to school, so they get quiet for some reason, and it's just hard. A lot of times they're introverts and they have a hard time self-advocating for themselves. So they internalize a lot of stuff, and then get bigger inside them. Without sharing, right? So, like when a teacher this is, and they step in, that's why the depression is so rewarding because you need to make a difference at that point. But
Yeah, you can make a difference in a student's life. Right.
that's it.
I think too, a lot of people feel it's medication is the answer. And medication actually can shut down a person into a zombie state. That I'm sure, all talk to people somewhere that the person is just not responding in a natural way. And that's a problem too, because, you know, I know my son has been in like sort of like a group home setting where a bunch of people, um, you know, have some problems, are gathered, and those people are so unmotivated, so sad lives, just almost like some of them, almost like vegetables. They don't have a quality of life. They're shut down. And I believe, and I don't expect everyone to take my belief, but I believe a lot of um, mental health problems are actually demonic problems. And that's something I think as time goes on, we'll discover more about that, because just from my observation, because I was kind of thrown into the snake pit, and you gain a lot of different information than what you might have previously thought, and so that's my aspect to it all.
You just made mention of demonic possession, right?
Mhm.
Politically correct word, we call it mental illness,
Yeah,
right? It replaces the original concept of the scripture where everyone in the synagogue was demon.
yeah,
They knew who God was, they knew who God was, and when they see him, they so almost surrendered to him,
mhm,
right? But today we try to tranquilize what we know scripturally as demonic possession. Like we many Christians said, we can know zombie like
right.
in the on medication for those treatment.
Yeah.
And they actually become more inclusive in a sense, right?
Well, they really shut down. I mean, I've seen people that in a few places where he lived that were really just like, I know I have relatives that work with seniors in nursing homes, and they say that they just are kind of like this. Well, these people, even though they're young, they have no motivation. They're just kind of like that, and it's sad. Mm-hmm.
So in between is medication,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Kind of tranquilize them from overreacting or behaving badly to society.
yeah,
There are cases in them, give them medication to work. There are cases where some people, the, the, the social workers go to the room and give them medication before they go out to work. So they won't be bad at the job or the society.
oh yeah, I know it. My son was in a place, and they really, like, he didn't take any medication, and they wanted him, um because he's a bit of a late owl, like a night owl. He likes to stay up late, and they wanted him to take sleeping pills and some other pills, and you know, I just had to kind of stand up and say, no, he's just on a different schedule. And a lot of these places, they want you to go to bed at 8 o'clock, and you're an adult. Like they treat you like you're a child. So, it's kind of sad when you get in that kind of situation.
Right? We want to make sure that we are the same.
Thank you.
Also, like you mentioned, the way we because of the social media access, it's get that more and more access to
Yeah.
start, kind of growth. And a lot of, well, actually, the Catholic Church actually admits that age group of this sort of thing.
Oh,
So
really?
they have a whole section just for that. So
They
that's not
do?
what regular church does. Yeah.
You mean a section where those people go?
No, a section where they have church connections.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Because of the increase. That's
Yeah.
true. The Catholic Church
Yeah.
does do that. Yes.
The whole day, they didn't have websites. They're not a lot of support of now. Oh, want to join a religion? Well, what to do there. But you don't need to join a religion. Just go online and you're already in a religion,
Mm.
right? The social media gives us easy access. So because that was access to a lot of people.
Well, there is a Bible verse that talks about um, controlling your tongue, and that your tongue can predict good and evil. And I met a woman after this that I recognized had these problems, and she actually put a curse on herself because her mother. She felt that her mother had died, and she felt that she didn't give her mother the help that she should have uh, got from her, and so she said something to herself, kind of saying that she was a bad person and something very negative about herself. And after that, she started hearing a lot of voices, and a lot of things were bothering her, and things like that. So what you speak is very powerful.
Actually, there are those things that as a man thinking, so we think.
Yes, yes.
So let us think it, but when it comes to clarity, in the context, it and the subcontext, it becomes, but when you think of it, becomes more difficult one of one. So you speak to yourself, and you do, right? People opinion of you, negative or positive, what is thinking, and if you receive it, right? It's a negative what you're receiving, you believe what they say, and consciously taking it, the subconscious through.
You're right. And on social media, we get a lot of those um, comments. And I'm just surprised sometimes the comments I read when I'm just scrolling about things that look fairly innocent, and then some person comes and just says something horrible, and just to destroy the person. And it's very true what you said about the mouth. And you have to choose if you're going to be a blessing, a blesser, or a curser. And my choice is to be a blesser.
So we have to be careful what we think of. Because you're taught to actually make that instead of this side of the night. When you're taught
Absolutely.
to be in, that's how you put all your things on.
And that is very true. Um, I don't know if you remember, I don't see him here right now, but you remember the fellow that came in earlier and then he said he was here for something else on this site and he left? Well, I was at the gym and he goes to my gym um, a few days before that. And I ran into him and he asked me, "Are you married?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Does your husband come to this gym?" And I said, "No, he doesn't." "Oh." And then he started to ask, um, started to talk some negative gibberish to himself. And I recognized right away that he's got some problems. And I said, "Oh, be positive." "Yeah," I said, "I think I'm too negative." But sometimes we're raised with a negativity and we just, it's bred into us to have a negative response. And, it's very important, I feel, to try to be as positive as you can. And I mean, we all face challenges. I mean, I faced those challenges with my son, but I don't think people would know I was going through that challenge. I mean, you've known me all through that time. You didn't know I went through that, did you?
So like,
No. So, you know, um, sometimes you don't know what people are facing.
You know, sometimes I always say to people, never dress like your problem or walk like your problem.
Hmm.
Walk and talk about what you want to become. It's because one thing that we do unconsciously, what we do in a subconscious mind, we really think about ourselves. And the best conversation I ever have is one I have with myself.
Yeah.
And that will translate into how you feel that you're feeling of yourself. Walking. So when you go into what you're going through, you will be able to write the experience because you're already in already.
Hmm.
Why are you just taking out from here? Because we don't really see things in words. We see things in pictures. And what we see in our mind is picture in words. Now we take the words, what the picture, and translate the words. All the son was going through, not the words we were seeing the thing of it, and take them within word form. So whoever reading that now, they read the word for the fear to change it upon that.
Wow. That's deep. Yes.
So we don't think,
Okay.
yes, go
Oh,
ahead.
A little late, but I might have missed it. How's he doing today?
doing well. I mean, he um I still have some challenges. I mean, don't go through all of that and come out without a few challenges.
Or
But generally, he's in his right mind. He is a believer in God. He prays, every day. When you read this book, you'll find out some of the things that he was up to through it. I don't want to give away too much, but just you'll find out that there was a lot of things going down with him at the time. And if it wasn't for this Jamaican pastor that was beside me, honestly, I don't think that I would have been able to get through that. So God will, people say, "Oh, God doesn't hear prayers," or "I prayed enough and I never got an answer." You don't know when God's going to answer. You don't know.
You need to know that.
It's God's timing. I know for sure if I wasn't the person that picked up that phone, like for example, I was at the radio station, I was an on air person, but I also did advertising. And I just happened, it was like around 5:30 in the evening. I just happened to be sitting at my desk, and the receptionist just patched her through to my desk, I guess because she knew a lot of people had already left the station. And I needed to hear about this situation, this meeting she was having. And if it wasn't that I didn't get that phone call, I didn't hear about that meeting, I didn't meet her, I really don't know today where my son would be. It wouldn't be a good place. I often have said he's either going to be in a padded room or behind bars. And that's pretty direct to say that, but it's really the truth. So that's my story, and I'm I'm really glad that I was able to share it because that's what I want to do is share this story because there's a lot of people facing these uh, dark places and they don't know what to do. I even went to pick something up at someone's house last year and we got chatting around Christmas and then she started to tell me about her daughter. She was Catholic and about her daughter was cutting herself and doing all kinds of different stuff. And I was able to share with her what I went through. I guess it wasn't last Christmas, the Christmas before, because the book hadn't come out yet. And she just, she was a strong Catholic and she just was very concerned. And my heart went out to her because I know how she felt. So I was able to encourage her by what, I had gone through. And, there's lots of lost people walking around and people that are shut down because of evil. So, well, I really want to thank everyone so much for coming on such a hot evening. It's been really my pleasure to be here, and I want to really thank um, Muse Arts Creative Lab here for hosting this event and inviting me to come here. And thank you. I want to give you all a hand. Thank you so much. It's been a hot one. Oh, yes. Here. No, it's a door prize tickets. Come, it's free. Yeah. So this is yours. You can give one to your friend, and I'll put them in the draw. That's good. And I want to do the draw now. So we're giving away from Nature's Signature. This. So, Chelsea, do you want to help me with the draw? Has everybody got their ticket? Here you go. Shake it back at the side. She's really shaking it. Oh, you want me to shake it? Okay, so here's the winning number. Okay, 2373 Oh, okay. Pastries and sweets and stuff because we have from Monte Bakery a box full of pastries. So let's go with that. Oh, I feel the breeze now. Yeah, it's really getting breezy. Okay. Here's the next winner. 2373062. Yeah, 2373062. That's you. That's you. Wow.
Call for a recall. Just kidding, just kidding.
Is this the patient?
Trevor.
Is this the patient?
Yeah. tissue pastries that bakery made.
Well, you know what, I'm sure.
Well,
What? No.
whatever you want, it's your
Pastry.
pastry.
All right. Sure. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, I guess that's it for the evening. And thank you so much for coming. It's been a great evening. Hot, but it's still a great evening.
That one?
Yeah.
They look very nice.
Oh, yeah. It is.
They look very nice.
Oh, I took a picture of you. I think I took a picture of you.
Go swimming, that's why. Thank you.
Oh, more evening as well. Twice in a week.
Well, whatever we make.
Oh, it's the other way.
Yeah, I will have to put my time then. We have to do the trial.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sure.
And it's so long. You've been